The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
All right, Student Game Report. Of course, this is Sam, Kyle Nash, a.k.a. Student Game of BHP Media, US Today's on Wire. Kyle, what's up, man?
Hey, what's good, man? Don't forget to follow the soul, baby.
Oh, right. That's right.
I can get oldschool101.com, but that's the newest one to the game.
Right, that's true. Yesterday, first time in ages, I did not watch any Red Zone. I was locked into the Giant game all day at 1 o'clock.
Wow. I mean, for a Patriots fan, you were pretty engaged with the Giants. I don't understand that.
You know, at some point, this Pats thing will end, you know? At some point.
Well,
I don't know when, but by the way, they play in 3 days. That's sort of record.
When Brady retires, you're going to stop being a bandwagon fan? Is that it?
I mean, I figured that if there's any time to get in your shots in for Pats, being a Pats fan versus the Giants, it's this week because they're playing on Thursday. You know? Just saying. You can now, in these next 40-something minutes we're recording, you can figure out whether or not who my loyalties really align with.
Oh, I can solve this real quick. So, hey, I just got a call from Tom Brady. He says he actually wants to go Mormon and have you be his first male wife. Are you interested?
So he likes black so much that he'll actually... No, never mind. Let me not go there.
He's not going to come back when you're done with him, I'm sure, but that's not the question.
Just like my wife. I'm just saying.
And now I ain't even going to respond to that. Moving on.
Anyway. No, we got breaking news this morning, actually. I woke up, and not surprising because, you know, again, this is what, I even said yesterday, you know, within 24 to 48 hours this will happen. Jay Gruden fired by the Redskins this morning. I woke up, I actually woke up at 6:30 in the morning to take a piss and check my phone. And I see Jay Gruden fired. I go, yep, yes, that's about right on cue. Go back to sleep.
Oh, gosh. Why do you even bring, I know why I'm here to bring me on. I am the janitor that cleans up the piss of your normal podcast. That's what it is.
Literally and figuratively speaking. Your thoughts on Jay Gruden's firing? Not surprising on my end. Your thoughts?
I mean, really, the headline for that could have been, yep, they did it. Let's move on. I mean, you know, the most thing I found humorous from it is like all the Dolphins fans who are like, couldn't you push that back a week? You know, just so we could like see a win. But there you go.
Are they on a bye this week or are they playing Dolphins this week immediately?
No, they were on a bye last week, the Dolphins.
No, not the Dolphins. The Redskins, I'm saying.
Oh, as I understand it, the Dolphins Redskins is this weekend.
Oh, I figured they wait till a bye week then do it, but I guess, you know, things are just really that bad in the Redskins. I assume the locker room too, also.
But let's be real. Are the Dolphins not a bye in and of themselves? Come on.
I guess, but I mean, I am tempted to flip Washington and Miami in my power rankings tomorrow, 31-32. I'm tempted. I probably won't do it, but I am tempted to.
If one beats the other head to head, you'll be compelled to. I get it.
Right. Well, at least this week we'll know who's the worst team in football. You know.
Will we? Ties are a thing, Ernest Christian.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But I probably still lean Miami still. I mean, it's because of the talent level. But, you know, again, no surprise here. And, you know, the next guy on the list who will probably be on the hot seat now is Dan Quinn in Atlanta. I mean, what a bad loss yesterday to Houston. Ooh, that's bad.
So, by the way, side note, I have to give you credit. You're absolutely correct. The date of the next game, 10/13, for the Skins and the Dolphins.
That's this week. That's this week coming up.
Oh, that means I was right. Yeah,
you're right. You're right. You're correct. Yeah, you're correct.
It's almost like I covered the team or something, sort of, kind of.
Yeah, you do, somewhat, sort of. You know,
special contributor. You know.
Yeah, Dan Quinn, hot seat, and I'm not saying there's rumors out there. I haven't heard anything out there to suggest that there's like rumors of him being fired, but it's kind of hard not to at least consider this. 1-4, a team was just owning the Super Bowl 3 years ago. A team has been a playoff team for the last couple of years, and just the regression continues. And I mean, the talent level on this team, they shouldn't be 1-4, but they are. It's pretty bad in Atlanta right now.
Golly. First of all, I want the record to show Dan Quinn's a good coach. That's just what I said. This is one of those guys who you're going to fire and you're probably going to regret it. I don't know who you would replace him with that could immediately do better. I don't know what you're going to do. Hire Jim Harbaugh? Anyways, maybe he and Harbaugh will flip-flop. I don't even know. But the punchline is this. You're a defensive guy. You're known for being a defensive guy. That's how you got your bread and butter. And your team gave up 53 points.
Yeah.
Certainly not a good look. I mean, yeah.
And they're pretty healthy too. Last year was yet an excuse. Your entire team was just ripped to shreds, injuries. So last year I got that. This year there's really no excuse. I mean, to be this bad.
Well, I mean, listen. Don't ask me to rip the fraud cons too hard here, okay?
Oh wait. We spent, dude, this entire segment we've done for the last 5 or 6 years now. The foundation, part of the foundation of what we've done here as a team, you and I, here on the Screen Report, is ripping the Falcons, the fraud cons. Okay,
sure. But you're
going to undo that now because
no.
want anybody?
Slow your roll. All I'm saying is I'm not doing it with the same prejudice that you do, which I find the irony that I'm using the term prejudice while I'm talking to a black man, but I digress.
Wait, you're hard on the Falcons for years. You've been harder on the Falcons than I would. I've been the one always saying, well, maybe they could do this, and you're like, no. I was one saying Matt Ryan, top 10 quarterback. You're like, hell no, overrated.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm going to get punished for being correct? Listen, it ain't a diss if it's right, son. Stop that right there, okay?
I'm just saying, just don't, continue to be who you've been for the last 5 years because you're correct. And I will still harp on it.
Well, okay, fine. Listen, my correctness, be all that as it may, all I'm trying to tell you is this year you've harped on it even harder than I have. And I'm just like, well, okay, but they're not the Bengals for Christ's sake, I mean, but listen, we can make jokes and all this like we're doing right now and how much the fraud cons suck and have fooled people for years into thinking they're worth a darn. And they're the entire reason I have to listen to dumbass Patriots fans like you try to tell me Tom Brady's the greatest of all time.
Because he is. Okay?
I mean, because it brings up all that bitterness of how just ill-informed you are as a football person and how you need to stick to basketball so I can eventually school you in that once I get my rings white covering the Magic. But I digress. Thank you for the setup.
There's a cleanup. Go ahead, clean up aisle 5.
Why? Because you made a big-ass mess.
That's right.
No, listen, silliness aside, I mean, if you still have lugged your chain to hang with the Falcons, the fraud cons, I got nothing for you. I mean, listen, the dead horse is still bleeding as we beat on it thoroughly. I mean, I appreciate that they got 32 points on offense. I do. But, I mean, and in fairness, Deshaun Watson, folks, I mean, he good.
Well, he's very good.
He's good. They got people. They have now the best offensive line in the division. And oh, by the way, there's this Kenny Stills guy. Pretty good compliment to one DeAndre Hopkins.
Well, gotta admit though, I mean, we can admit too, the Houston Texans up till this past Sunday was a little underwhelming too.
True, but I mean, you're still working those pieces in, man. And to be clear, this could have been just the game that it clicked. I'm willing to give that excuse, but no, Falcons suck, bro. Next question.
They say, there you go. Sit right in. You heard that, Danny? You listen to me? Listen to Kyle?
Why I gotta be like that, man? I appear on that guy's show too,
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. I either do a recorded segment or I'll call in to his show to talk UCF.
I did not know that.
You've been told twice. That's why I keep telling you, man, take it easy on Danny. I work with him. And you all just, oh no, beat up your guy. Whatever.
But it's a team. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, this is why I can't stand on social media, and I should know this already. You know when I have really bad weeks on my picks, people like harp on me all the time?
You mean like weekly, right?
Well, I have decent weeks. I have, not so decent weeks.
You have been picking pretty well this season. I talked that.
Do you know how I did this week in my gambling picks?
I have not checked yet. No.
5-0.
Wow. That's the first time.
5-0. And not one person is people who talk all the time about me being what the fuck, just pick a city. Don't say a goddamn thing.
See, and this is where you and I need to clear one thing up for the people out there. When you do well, I tell you do well, Ernest Christian.
That's right. Anyway. Pat me on the back. My back's hurting. No, but it's funny. Like, I go on the same, people on Facebook and social media that, give me absolute crap for my rankings and especially my picks. 5-0. Who had Indy on the points yesterday? This guy. I didn't think they win the game. I just said points. A lot of points there. That's all.
See, and that in itself, I have to tell you, Pa, the Kansas City only scoring 13 is some mind-blowing stuff, and you deserve credit for picking it out. Just like you deserve credit for your first week of rankings. They've all sucked since, but that first week...
week 4 was good, man. Come on.
Wrong, and you should feel bad.
By the way, the Cowboys will be falling down these rankings very, very soon because they are back to earth, losing to the Packers yesterday. Yeah, they made me look bad last week, and even worse this week because, granted, Green Bay had a lot of rest. They played on Thursday Night Football, this and that. But you're at home. Come on, get the job done, Dak.
You made you look bad. I told you weeks ago it was a bad move, okay? You made you look bad.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
It's bad optics. Remember the thing last week on the show was bad optics. Dallas Cowboys losing to New Orleans on Drew Brees, which may not be a bad thing at this point because the way they've been playing since he got hurt. I'm just saying. The Cowboys, that's a bad loss because now, your 3 wins are against an Eli Manning-led Giants team, the Miami Dolphins who are worst team football, and the Washington Redskins who are worst team football. So, it's now been justified. People who have said that, they're not for real, 3-5 weeks, they have a right to brag. They do.
See, but here's where you gotta be careful, Giants fan. Hear me out. So, what does that actually mean? It means they're undefeated in the division, and it means that they still have a chance to win that beast if Carson Wentz gets hurt again, which means they have a chance to make the playoffs. And all you got to do is to make the playoffs to have a shot, right, Giants fan? At least that's what they're going to tell themselves.
What's that one, Giants fan?
No, I mean, like Joe Giants fan listening to the show.
Oh, never mind then. I thought you would get a correction this week finally about getting it right this time.
Well, no, I mentioned you as a Patriots fan. I got it right.
Oh my God, killing me.
Thank you to the Giants fans of the world for fighting a game that Kirk Cousins can bleed and win. That's nice.
What did I tell you last week? I told Zach, one of you two. I said, all Kirk Cousins needs is the 1:00 slot where his game's hidden among 10, okay, and play a shit defense. New York Giants, yay, right here.
Okay.
Home and beer.
He was brought in to win playoff games, which are typically on in prime time.
We're you and I on the same page with that one.
And against elite defenses. Yeah, good job, EJ.
No. And that's what I'm saying. For Cousins to kill a swamp, to end a slump is those two combinations of a 1:00 red zone game, 1:00 on red zone where we barely check in your game because you're doing pretty well, and we can lose your game in the shuffle. And number 2, a shit defense. So all things he checkmarked that this week along pretty well. Now you put Kirk Cousins on a Thursday night game, a Sunday night game, or Monday night game, or even a 4:00 like yesterday. Only 2 games at 4:00. Put him in that kind of situation. Oh, he'll shit the bed, of course. But put him on 1:00 on red zone, hidden among 10 games. Yeah, we'll do pretty well.
As if there wasn't enough evidence out there already. I know you have children because you constantly refer to teams as shitting beds. You realize that, right?
My kids don't shit the bed though. Kirk Cousins does. So
not more maybe, but I digress.
Well, they have diapers. Come on.
Next question.
Well, Kirk Cousins. Well, in the case of that analogy, the reason why I harp on him now more so now than I did in Washington is because you have the pieces now around you. This again, you and I are on the same page on this the last 2 years. This is arguably the top 3 or 4 best rosters in all of football.
Yes.
Top to bottom.
Yes.
And you can get done even with this shit.
Right.
Come on now.
Of course, the only correction I'd make is I was critical of Kirk Cousins way back in the days of, you like that? So, what I would ask you now is, do you really like that though? Anyways.
Well, he has another 11 weeks to change the narrative.
All he has is one sound that I have to make fun of him for. I'm just saying.
Do you have it on you now?
I used to. I changed computers.
God damn it. I need more sound. Need more sound.
See, you thought you had all these things and I had this long setup, but then you just walked into it and realized.
It's a trap.
Anyway.
What's that one?
Where's what?
The Star Wars one. It's a trap. It's a trap. You played it?
I did.
I didn't hear it. I heard from. That's all I heard.
You can't hear it on Skype because, Skype sucks.
Skype's all we have, man. That's all we have at this point. If I'm a Chiefs fan, though, back to the KC Indy game, Indy with the big upset. If I'm a Chiefs fan, am I concerned? Because Detroit played pretty well last week. Not saying they get done every week, but I mean that's the game to loss. And then you have this game against Indy. Granted, Indy's a lot better people can credit for. Even about Andrew Luck, but it's a home game. It's on Sunday Night Football. Gotta win that game too to keep pace with the Patriots.
If I'm a Chiefs fan, am I concerned? Yes, because you're a fan and you don't know shit about football. I mean, how many times have I seen that in a lot of fan bases that I may or may not cover in the college realm that are talking about having a coach who went undefeated last season being fired now. Anyways, what? Anyways, listen, man, Jacoby Brissett is sneaky good.
He's solid.
And they got snuck up on. What do you want me to tell you? Next question.
What do they say? He's not solid. He's solid.
No, solid is where the Panthers play, Carolina. Oh, solid. Right. Okay, my bad. Anyways, no, listen, man, as long as you got Patrick Mahomes, I know they only put up 13, and again, credit to that defense for doing it. But, yeah, I'm not hitting the panic button yet. They're still gonna make the playoffs. Next question,
Yeah, but I think seeding becomes an issue now, because how many games do you see the Pats actually losing this year?
I mean, seeding was always an issue. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but they already sneezed now.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. They sneezed now.
And listen, the Pats were this close to losing to a team that threw 3 interceptions against them in the Bills, okay? And one could argue the only reason why they didn't is just a garbage, dirty hit that Chiefs fans want to deflect from that took their Bills quarterback out of the game. Just saying.
That's a good segue because that's the topic I had here. The Bills not 4-1. Kyle, I think I'm buying in. They're a playoff team because defense travels well.
That's a very good and positive reason. I was going to say they have a chance because the AFC sucks.
Well, that too. That too. And it's even more. I mean, what you can do, and you and I normally do this toward the end of the year, but we could do a quick one here on week 5, going to week 6. Who your locks? You know how we always do that. Who your locks right now? So obviously the Pats are locks in the AFC East. We agree with that, right?
Sure.
Lock in the AFC North. I guess we can still say Baltimore. We'll see tonight how Cleveland does. But
I mean, I'm still saying Baltimore, but not necessarily win the division. They're going to make the playoffs.
Okay, so let's get you and I give Baltimore the division right now for the time being. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, even though they lost to Cleveland last week, but still. AFC South, Houston. I'm still in the Houston bandwagon.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
And then you have AFC West. KC's on that division. That's not even an argument. Oakland, great win for Oakland yesterday, though, but come on now. That leaves your wild cards. And right now, your wild card would be Buffalo 1. Okay? And then who's after that? Indy and Cleveland and Oakland. And all 3 of those teams are, well, Indy I trust a little more because they're well coached and, but those teams are heavily flawed right now, man.
So we're claiming your boy Phillip Rivers is dead on arrival? Because he's never come back randomly to shock his way into the playoffs. That's never happened. It's not like 6 years ago I made an amazing prediction that the Chargers would make the playoffs 6 weeks ahead of time and they ended up doing it. That never happened. It's
very possible. My point is I think the teams that is mentioned right now who are right now in the mix, obviously the Chargers are in the mix, but they lost again this week. The Raiders and, all of those teams. I expect the Raiders to fall back to earth at some point. The Colts, we'll see how things go. I mean, they lost the Raiders last week. They should have won that game, really, to be honest, but they didn't do it. Although they beat KC this week. And then Cleveland, we'll see tonight, but they're still Jekyll and Hyde. Buffalo, and this is why I kept saying the Bengals game is important a couple weeks ago. So I kept saying this game is important this week, because if Buffalo wants to be taken seriously, you got to win these games, these what I call 50-50 games or lower.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Titans qualifies as that. Let me be clear. Mm-hmm. There's a show I go on with WAXC in Vero Beach with my guy Chris Pirtle on the Sports Junkies, like getting their sports fix and all that. And he has said the Titans are going to win the division. I'm like, good on you for having that much faith with a quarterback situation like that. But I say that to say that leans it to me that they definitely count as a 50-50. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, look, Buffalo's done this in front of the pass. They started well and then they fade. But I feel like with their defense, man, this defense is really good. I mean, right now, I'm comfortable saying this is right now the best defense in football. 5 weeks.
But the what?
The best defense right now through 5 weeks. The best defense in football. Would you agree with that?
Oh, the Bills. Yeah, they have a shot at that. I could see that conversation. Absolutely.
Who would you consider besides the Buffalo Bills right now as the best D in football?
I mean, you're catching me off guard with it. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong here. That's what I'll give you. I mean, another defense that does their job. I mean, the Ravens do a pretty decent job.
The Bears are pretty good, obviously, but
listen, you got to dethrone the Bears. I mean, granted, their team sucks, but not because of that defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, by the way, I have no reason to believe that Trubisky scores any more than 21 over Chase Daniel. By the way, if we're going to call out our friends on their teams, how about those Bears there, G Stelio, at GWSTWLIO?
Oh, he was pissed yesterday. Did you see him on social media yesterday? He was just pissed off.
I would have loved to have seen that performance. Playing home from New Orleans doing, family trash. Not trash, but you get it.
Did you watch any football yesterday?
I did watch some.
I know you locked in tonight, though. Definitely in the Niners game.
I will be locked in as much as my schedule, with Nightline's Trace Tralco, allows for me to be when I do record the Night Class podcast tonight.
Oh, man. What else am I talking about here?
Wait, have it set up for yet another shameless plug.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there in a second. We get there. I'm trying to find another. Oh, here's a nice little storyline. Might be time to start talking about MVP and Christian McCaffrey. Yeah,
ain't that the damn truth, though? That's a good call by you, Ernest Christian. Normally I balk at, well, he's not a receiver. He lines up as a running back, but let's be honest, he catches the ball a whole butt ton. But then again, that's the whole, let's put it this way. Give me somebody today who's a better choice than Christian McCaffrey, right?
Right now? I can't think about it right now, honestly. I mean, I guess Mahomes, but he's kind of tailed off a little bit last couple of weeks.
Mahomes has tools out the yin-yang, even without your boy Tyreek Hill in the lineup.
That's right. Correct.
So, I can't in good conscience put him. I'm not prepared to put one Carson Wentz with the Eagles because he keeps shifting and shaking on a regular basis. Your boy Tom Brady, sorry, defense is carrying that squad.
I agree with that.
But I am going to be that guy. Deshaun Watson, maybe, but, at the end of the day, DeAndre Hopkins, Kenny Stills, factor there. I mean, I can't really think of a huge impact player other than Greg Olsen that the Panthers have not named Christian McCaffrey.
I run down the entire league right now of players who are doing things, and no one is doing anything on a bigger scale right now than McCaffrey. Honestly, right now, if I had a vote right now, he'd be MVP.
Oh, and by the way, side note, I need to, of course, give our cred and nod to the possibility of our good friend Russell Cantankerous Wilson.
Bingo, that's the other one.
Because listen, Russell Caladrill Wilson.
he changed his whole name twice in a sentence.
Well, no, I mean, listen, leave me alone with Russell Chameleon Wilson. I'm just trying to talk about him real quick, okay?
Right, okay.
Anyways, where was I?
Russell Wilson, cantankerous.
Russell Cantankerous Wilson, yes. Well, let's see. Russell Commitment Wilson needs to just keep doing his thing, and he does so with the least amount of weapons. That is, in fact, the definition of an MVP, and people are too stupid to realize it. That's how dummies like you refuse to pick him in 2017 because he wasn't playoff eligible, and you're still wrong to this very day. Yeah. So, by the way, Christian McCaffrey is doing exactly that with a backup quarterback. Get out my face.
And the 3-2. And we gotta discuss it again now. With every win, every week. I mean, didn't we all write off the Panthers after 2 week 2? And now they're 3-2 with Kyle Allen quarterback and McCaffrey doing his thing. I mean, we gotta have the discussion about McCaffrey. It's time. And about, not only about McCaffrey, but also the quarterback situation, because I'm not certain they do with Cam Newton, the quarterback. Honestly, as good as Cam is.
Well, it's you need to phrase it properly and say as good as Cam was. I mean, because the truth is he's suffering from Father Time syndrome, and no one has beaten that ever.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point there. That's a good point. Which now opens discussion now for whether or not we have a legitimate quarterback controversy now, because as every week goes by and every win comes in here, do you really want to change the quarterbacks at this point now when your team's searching about it is? I say no.
We've had this conversation last week, so I'll do the short version. If you sit Alex Smith for Colin Kaepernick and you don't put Cap back, if the same sort of thing happens and we're 10 weeks deep and Cam wants to come back in, I'm sorry, you stay with the hot hand. You just do.
Yeah. Yeah, you just do. I agree 100%. MVP, yeah. By the way, I know it's been a couple days since then, but that Rams Seahawks game, man, that was some good football.
That's what you should expect from those teams. That's what you should expect. By the way, another game that was super close and a great rivalry, despite the fact Ben Roethlisberger wasn't in it. Ravens Steelers.
Yeah, you always count those two teams, no matter who's in. Like, as you said all the time, this rivalry has Charlie Batch and other notable backups that make some splashes. Leftwich, yes, Byron Leftwich. Who I thought if he gets stay healthy, could have been a really, really good quarterback.
I always like David Garrard better.
Nah.
Hey, you can on me all you want.
I like Garrard too. I liked him.
The one who won the playoff game is my guy. I'm just saying.
No, Garrard.
Bingo.
Yeah, in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With a 30-yard run to seal that pitch.
That's right. No, Seattle's 4-1. They haven't looked all that great most of the year, but again, your point on Russell Wilson, was right on point.
Haven't looked great, but won games. Isn't that the goddamn Seahawks MO? Where have you been, EJ Christian?
No, they. This is a different team now. With Legion and Boom, you always had you can always say, well, the defense, bail people out, this and that. No, this is Russell Wilson doing Russell Wilson things. No.
I mean, what I'm talking about is the scraping, biting nature of this team. The games are played close, and they have no reason to win them, but they find a way to win. Okay, I mean that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about. Listen, this is no longer the days where the Legion of Boom carries all of the weight. Those days are gone. I submit to that. Hell, I even talked to Bobby Wagner about it. If he could be a statesman of the defense that brings in the Legion of Boom 2.0, his answer blew my mind that he was overwhelmed. He's like, no, you don't reproduce that. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. And I mean, because he and I were joking around a bit about the fact that I'm a Niners fan and all. He was very funny about it, but that was the most serious thing he said is that comes once in a lifetime, man. You don't redo that. So the guy admits he may not be able to shepherd in the next coming. It's not the same team. I get that. But you know what else is the same? Their O-line sucks, and there is Russell Cacophony Wilson right.
You're so dumb.
You're laughing your ass off, ain't you, biatch?
I like it. It's great. It's great. So if and not in any particular order, if you had to list your top 3 MVP candidates, no order, just 3 guys that come to mind, MVPs.
Who should be in the conversation?
Right. 3 guys.
This is easy. McCaffrey, Mahomes, and Wilson.
There you go. I'm the same way too. And if I were to rank it, I would probably rank it McCaffrey, Wilson, Mahomes.
I could get behind Mahomes being 3rd.
Only because there's been a little bit of drawback last couple weeks.
Sure.
whereas the other two guys have kind of sort of picked up the play as they've faced more challenges, if you will.
Now, all that being said, Ernest Christian, what I would tell you is if they do end up getting home field throughout.
Who's this?
My homies. If the Chiefs get home field throughout, then we'll have to have a very serious discussion between him and whoever number one is on the list.
Oh, no doubt about that. Oh, absolutely. But again, it's a tough task because well, the one challenge is that other team up in Foxborough. Of course, because they choose anybody. But as you say, my favorite team in the whole world. But whatever.
Yeah, the Patriots. We know.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Did you watch Hell in a Cell last night? What an ending, huh?
Yeah, hold on. Let me check the script real quick, see if I can read up on what it was.
God, I'm joking, of course.
I know. Although, listen, what's G. Stelio put up a gif of the 10-time champion chick, and she's kind of hot. I get it.
That's Ric Flair's daughter. You know that, right?
Wow. He produced something that attractive?
Yeah.
Good on him. Listen,
Charlotte Flair, she's really amazing. In fact, G and I are on the same page with this one, is that she might be the most talented wrestler on the entire roster, male or female.
Damn. Okay. Well, listen. I mean, you know what? Good. Awesome. I know.
She's good in the ring. She's good on the mic. She knows how to work with a crowd, and she's not one of those women's wrestlers that use her sex appeal. She's actually really fucking good.
That just actually happens to have that too, but we like the trifecta. Kind of like The Rock. That's right. I said The Rock has sex appeal. Judge me all you want.
Well, yeah, duh. My wife goes gaga over The Rock.
So do you, bitch. Don't lie.
Sometimes. I miss the eyebrow. I miss the Elvis sideburns.
By the way, I know one thing that makes you go gaga. You ready?
What?
Go Heat, bitch.
That's true. And basketball's back, motherfucker. Did we miss anything this week other than tonight's prediction? Who you got tonight? Your Niners are on.
Yeah, actually, and I'll be perfectly honest, this is actually a very difficult game for me to predict. There's both teams' weaknesses match up just so, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But if I'm going to side with anybody, I'm going to side against the guy who's named like I think he should be working in the kitchen and not on an NFL sideline. I think this is a coaching win as Shanahan makes a difference to call the health inspector and require Kitchens to clean things up.
Well, this is a huge game for San Francisco because, again, you win this game, you're still unbeaten. You get a leg on the Rams also, too, on top of that because they lost. I mean, you keep pace. Oh, obviously, you stay ahead of the Seahawks on that. And we're down to what? Two teams now unbeaten in the league now? We have the Patriots and San Fran, right? That's it, right?
That's correct.
So
and by
there you
the
go.
Talk to me all you want about how weak the Niners schedule is. Let's take a gander over at the Patriots schedule, shall we?
But the pass will always get the benefit of the doubt because of who they are and how many titles they won. And remember, they are the defending champions.
And they have had weak schedules for years.
Absolutely. But the thing is, even when they don't do that, when they play the top teams, they still fucking beat them. So again, benefit of the doubt goes to them.
No, they didn't beat the Chiefs.
When? Oh, yeah, D Ford beat. Yeah.
Got him! Dunked on his stupid face!
That's good. I mean, it's a good point. But D Ford's don't do that. That's all.
Wait, can we find the irony that D Ford is now a Niner and helping this team turn around?
That is funny. That is really, really funny too. So anyway, I think that's all we have this week for the report. Anything you want to plug before we go?
Hey, listen, you giving me, you see, I like the fact that you recognize I'm doing so much that you let me throw in plugs in the middle of the show.
Of course.
So, all I'm going to tell you is that Hilarity by Default has started dropping the Halloween episodes. We opened this month, by doing Return to Oz, Disney's effort to revive the effort that Walt himself was trying to do to make kind of a follow-up film to The Wizard of Oz. It's the darkest thing you could have seen from Disney at the era, and we do pose the question of whether or not you actually think it is a Halloween movie. I won't tell you my answer. You'll have to watch the video. Oh, snap! You like being teased? Actually, all EJ needs to do to get teased is look at a picture of Tom Brady. Anyways.
Wow.
And for those who...
Wait, I thought you said The Rock, though.
it has to be limited to one.
You think like white men? Come on.
What about J.J. Watt? And The Rock ain't white, per se.
Just to let you know right now that we claim The Rock. Thank you.
What is this, the racial draft? You know what? I'm claiming Colin Powell too, motherfucker, yeah!
No, we got Colin Powell too. We need a Republican on our side.
Remember, trade. They made the trade.
Mm-hmm.
You saw the original sketch. They traded for Colin Powell. Okay.
Colin Powell. Anyways, do you want Conolingus?
I'll take her if you take Marshall Mathers.
Well, I like his first 4-3 record, so sure. Yeah, sure.
You know, the angry Backstreet Boys, I like to call them. Anyway, so, right, of course, check out all my stuff. I'm on Twitter at the SOTG. Check me out on Facebook as a student of the game. Check out my Instagram, also the SOTG. I talked a bit about Default Assault already. You'll find that on Hilarity by Default, either on the .com or the
Hold up. You forgot it. Remember, the last thing I talked about. Man, you ain't gonna get away with this one. UCF losing again. What the hell was that shit?
Well, it's what happens when you have issues on the O-line. Like, you see, so first of all, I really wish you hadn't brought this up because I was having a good day and now I have to talk fans who are dumb. And we'll dive into this a bit further, on Night Class tomorrow when it comes out. Or I should say later tonight when it comes out.
Is it on iTunes yet, buddy?
What's that?
Is it on iTunes yet?
We still haven't heard back from the approval process from iTunes, but the submission's been made, okay? Anyways, this guy. You know, you want to help me? Why don't you call up Apple and tell them to get up off their butts and get me in there? How about that?
Yeah, it's true. I should. Call them a favor. Like I'm that important, like really. like too good gives a fuck about me.
Do a little pillow talk with your boy Tommy there. Hey Tommy, Eds. Can you get my friend's podcast to push through on iTunes? On a game week, you're going to ask me for this? Anyways.
Is it Night Class like KNIGHT class? Separate?
That's correct. This guy here.
Not there yet.
KNIGHT class. That's right. Anyways, I'll be talking with Trace Choco about, what happened. He is of Nightline.com. Very awesome site that covers UCF. And does so without being a stupid fan. But, you know, I've heard ridiculous things from Fire Heupel to they should have sat Dylan Gabriel. And listen, EJ Christian, let me ask you this. If there's a game where guards are literally getting pushed onto their back by a defensive tackle and the defensive line in general, like, is there any hope for a quarterback, even if he is, quote, a good runner?
Nope.
That'll be all. Anyways,
I mean, look, I'm not a genius with football. It's common sense.
You say that, and yet, but no, I mean, but then we'll be talking about a lot of that too, and also the positives. We'll be talking about what's worked for the Knights as well. I mean, EJ, look at this. The 2 games they've lost have been by a total of 4 points, and the turnover count was 6 given up, 2 committed. So that's, you know, that's a bad takeaway ratio, obviously, but still the win, the scores in those games, less than 4 points, is very interesting. Of course, Coach Heupel was no less satisfied by that. I asked him about that specifically during the conference call for the American Athletic Conference, and he's like, yeah, that's good, but, doesn't make me feel any better. Yeah.
I gotta be honest with you though, real quick, and get off the UCF thing, I know it'll piss you off. The entire season in general has been kind of uncompelling. Outside of the LSU stuff, potentially Oklahoma, potentially Georgia, you know, potentially other teams that, Auburn was one of those teams, but now they lost to Florida, so they're pretty much going to be out of it, most likely. It's been a very uncompelling season.
I don't think that's fair. I mean, every college season kind of hits that lull. Like, I mean, not to disrespect UCF as I cover them, but like the reason why game day went to Orlando for Cincinnati and UCF is because their other option was Notre Dame and like St. John's or something, not St. John's, but some Notre Dame and Rutgers, I think it was, and they were talking about doing game day at Yankee Stadium or something like that. Or the other option was to do Yale and Harvard with college game day.
By the way, I will say this too also. I mean, look, it's I know people want to write them off and they're not going to get the job done down the road, but that was a big win for Michigan against Iowa. That's a pretty big win.
Oh, sure.
Ugly as hell, but I'll take it.
I mean, it beats getting beat by 30 by them like Ohio State did that killed them out of their chance of getting into the college football playoff. What is that, 2 years ago? Last year?
Last year.
Yeah. Which, by the way, that's still trash. They hit them way too hard for that. They should have made the top 4. Anyways, that's right. I advocated for Ohio State. I'm confused about me too, but it happened.
Did we have a fight about that last year? You and I? Yeah, I thought you and I did argue about that. I was against them not being in the top 4.
Because you thought Oklahoma belonged in there. Yeah, good job, jackass. Anyways.
Maybe it looked bad last year to that much.
And you still didn't learn. You put the Cowboys at number 2. Anyways, so
we'll have 5 this week though, and it'll be lower than that probably now.
Well,
obviously,
I'm
tuned.
going to say no more to give you the opportunity to make me proud.
I do like that people look forward to this thing every week. It is entertaining. For the last, how many years I've been doing this? Posting the rankings on Tuesday. I do enjoy it. People get really offended by this shit, man. I'm telling you, people get offended by this stuff.
I have to be honest, it gives me a good excuse to go on your show and talk trash on your fan base.
It's okay. That's what we're here for. We're here to entertain, we'll have fun and have discussion.
I'm sure they hate me too, and you know what? That's okay.
Yeah, you'll live.
UCF fans hate me too because I try to tell them it doesn't matter what quarterback you put in. It doesn't matter at that point. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback at that point. Ernest Christian.
Oh, you see The Rock again. It doesn't matter what you think. Anyway, Kyle.
Yes.
A pleasure.
Yes, we talked about Hilaria by phone. Oh yeah, sportsmediapass.com, night class.
You're busy, man, these days. I told you, you're busier now than you've ever been since I've known you.
Well, I mean, I've had a lot more opportunity since certain hurdles have been removed from my path.
Yes, we know this already.
Anyways.
Good, and it's a good thing. It's a positive thing to the record.
Oh, no, I'm not meaning to say it was positive or negative. I'm stating a fact. There's more opportunity now than there's ever been for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At any rate, let's see, old school for my coverage with the Magic, Upstage U, right? Talked about Hilarity by Default, Dolphins Wire, USA Today.com, talked about that.
I love how like this weekly spot every week, my podcast, it's always it's like part of the things you got to do in a week. Oh, night class check, UCF media check, Earnestly Speaking podcast check. It's part of the docket of things you for the week got to take care of. It's great.
No, well, see, I mean, the good news is somehow or another, by the way, just so everybody out there can be clear on it, I'm this busy on top of having a day job that does pretty well for me,
mm-hmm.
and having 2 kids, including a 4-month-old baby, and a wife that at least pretends to still like my company. Okay. And we won't even get into stuff about, parents and mother-in-laws and all the other stuff I got to do on the side and all that other stuff and that. And this guy still finds me there waiting for him while he delays podcasts 4 and 5 times throughout the goddamn day, if not week.
Me?
You.
You get fully warned on it though. Come on now.
What's that?
You get warned on it. If the kids give me an issue, like today, I have 20 minutes, maybe a little bit.
Oh, I didn't say reasonable. I just tell you, despite all my business, all the trash I talk, just call my name and I'll be there. What? Yeah.
That's right. All right, Kyle. That was great as always. We'll do it again next week. I can't wait. And it's going to be another interesting week of football, I'm sure, coming up in general.
Right. So I love it. Till next time, bro. Class dismissed.